Welcome back
Back.
from break.
Woo! I feel so much better.
Indeed.
Woohoo. Start recording, Will.
Alright, already got it.
Okie doke.
Alright.
Everything looking good? Our camera looking good? Our map is looking good.
Very good.
Alright. Will, we on the same page here with
Yep.
images? Cool. Sick.
Sick,
I
nasty.
think we are all ready to start.
Alright. Oh, I'm for mass, guys. Let's go.
I guess.
All right. As you make your way into the early wee hours, into the dawn's respite, a very, very popular tavern here in the Whitestones. You hear Lurag begin shouting, the tavern keep, the owner of this establishment, early in the morning, as we have found ourselves in the sort of the break day, the final day of the vernal equinox festival of the moon here in Allengel. This is a more casual day of prayer and quiet reflection. Those who have traveled from the neighboring holds and from far away, some even as far away as from the capital, to enjoy this spectacle during this great spring occasion, begin packing up as it is kind of a reassuring sight to see that the main hall downstairs inside the Dawn's Respite is now kind of breathable again. There's no longer shoulder-to-shoulder revelry and merriment at all hours of the day and night. You get a full rest in, and upon the following morning, you are free to act as you see fit. I believe you had business with the Priestess Dashtira or Captain Messiah of the Guard, both of which are presumably to be found at the large temple to Selune here in the central elven white stone quarter.
So,
Question.
that was a long rest?
Yes, it was a long rest.
That was my question.
Yeah, it would be presuming that it would be probably closer to like 10 a.m. now. You guys definitely slept in.
Cool. Not on the verge of death anymore.
Whew.
So, are we gonna go?
I would like to make a little note. Hallock would have been probably awake for everyone else, and anyone who found him would just see him sort of doing push-ups in the corner, doing his morning routines.
Nadine did agree that she'd go and talk to the priestess when we talked to Owl Captain person who I don't remember the name of. So I think she's gonna kind of ask the group if we want to go there to inform them of whatever, and also so Nadine can kind of keep up her end of that deal.
I mean, that's probably a good idea. Maybe they can send some help for us to kill this monster.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like if there's enough people, we can just get it.
Group consensus, we go do that?
Yeah, alright with that.
Cool.
I'm looking around for the owl. Do I see the owl? I don't remember what their name was.
Captain Messiah.
Messiah. I'm looking
I think
around
we
for
just
Messiah.
go to the palace. I'm guessing that's where we'd find people.
Okay, fine, whatever.
Context clues.
All right. Is that what you guys are doing?
I think so, yeah.
Yep.
All right. You make your way downstairs, and as you're about halfway across the bar, you are spotted by Lurag Strongbrew, the owner of this establishment. And he says, "Hey, you, Tuffet!
Oh, huh?
I got your brother down here on paper. You've stayed 2 nights. Before you check out of town, you're going to need to settle up here at the bar, so don't you be escaping the Whitestone and trying to skip out on your bill, all right? I know you're from Saltshore. I will track you down. You must pay me."
It's fine.
How much
Kelpie,
do I owe?
I got it. This is on me.
What? No, I can
It's fine.
pay for them.
I sort of put a hand on Kelpie's shoulder, just give him a smile. How much was the tab?
Well, with the back order from your brother and all of his tabbed items and his food, and then there was that incident the first night before you arrived with, well,
Incident.
it wasn't really an incident so much as he was just looking for a little bit of private entertainment.
Oh.
We had to switch rooms.
What does that mean?
Hey,
No, don't worry about it. No.
Don't you worry about it, dearie. Your brother has interesting taste. We'll say that.
In what?
Oh. Nope.
Nadine
Alright.
doesn't
Cheesecake.
get it.
He loves
So-
cheesecake.
Okay.
We okay, and then all right. Right now you're sitting at 14 gold, 8 silver.
Drop in the water in the pail. It's fine. You said 14 gold.
Yes.
Here, 15 gold.
Well,
Goodness.
good. All right. We don't offer change, so the rest is a tip. I appreciate it.
Yes, of course.
I like to think that
Alright.
this guy is also eating chocolate.
All right.
Is,
Well,
is
good
that a
morrow.
hunk of chocolate you have there?
Was the lady's name Hershey?
Oh dear. Anyway, I'm going to. Your room will be turned down in an hour, so if you got anything in there that's remaining, I'd get it out.
I'm assuming we took all our stuff.
I have everything with.
You
Yeah, I
certainly
think so.
do, my strange friend. And have a pleasant day. Thank you for visiting the Dawn's Respite. Tell your friends
Yeah.
about the famous strong brew ale.
Thank you for
Okay.
the fig.
Hey, I didn't get to drink any ale while we were here.
You're like, how old are you?
He turns to a barmaid. Did we start stocking figs? Shakes it off, just confused.
We leave. We leave. We leave. We leave.
Leave.
Okay.
We leave. We walk away.
Nadine, can you even drink?
Nadine's canonically 18, but I also don't know if she knows that.
I don't think you can.
She's been in the woods for like a long period of time.
Amazing.
I don't know if
Amazing.
she knows how old she is, but she's like fresh 18.
Kelpie is
So probably
like,
not.
Under the,
I also
Kelpie's
don't
under
know the
impression
drinking laws in Allengale, so or if anyone
Kelpie
cares.
definitely thinks you're like a child. Like he
Uh,
thinks you're like 15 max.
I would say, presuming fantasy medieval setting, alcohol is safer to drink. So even like things that are like that not high proof would be pretty much drank most occasions because water can be just inherently dangerous if it's not magically created or purified. So I think there isn't any kind of stigma against drinking, although there may be a stigma against drunkenness in children.
Kelpie just has this weird vendetta against anyone under the age of 21 drinking for no reason. It's just a Kelpie
Okay, well,
thing.
never mind. You know where I'm from, we don't do that as much.
I think we go to the palace or the temple, whatever it's
Yeah,
called.
okay. Let's go to the
Got it.
palace.
good.
As
The
we
Tower
exit
Elena?
the door, Moss is going to, like, as the door shuts behind us, as discreetly as possible, wild shape back into a cat and jump
Moss
into
cat, moss cat, moss cat, moss
Nadine's
cat.
arms.
Yes!
Okay.
Nadine feels so cool right now.
All right. A cat perched upon your shoulders, Nadine. You walk the slight uphill climb past the library to the front steps of the temple. There, two of these strong, armored, feminine, elven women stand up at the front doors, alert and sort of sentinel status. They see you approach, and they give you a nod, and one of them just kind of quips at you, "Oh, it's the champions."
Oh, hello. It's
could
me,
say,
I guess. Or us. We're all the champion.
Yes, we are familiar with you all winning at last night's ceremony. It's quite the auspicious occasion. Are you departing from Allengale today, then?
Probably.
We're here to see, out of character, what's the captain's name?
Captain Masai.
We're here to see Captain Asai. We were told to have a meeting with her.
Is that a fact?
I think it is.
Go in and go check that. She gives a bit of a quick nod. The other guard walks up to the steps, enters inside. You wait a brief moment as the other guard sort of sidesteps and presses her weight against her balls of her feet. And within a minute or so, you see the doors open up, and she gives a nod and says, "The captain said that she would see them. I will escort them to the training area. She is currently working with some of the other recruits on some swordplay."
favorite band.
Do I recognize either of these guards?
Just wondering about that.
No, I don't think you would at this point. Most of the guards that were working last night that you would be more familiar with either are not relieved or are relieved of their duties and are recuperating somewhere. This is a different detachment altogether. You are escorted into the grand marble hallway here with all of its pillars, and she immediately says, "All right, keep in line. Please follow me closely and do not wander." She leads you to a sharp inclined marble staircase on the right-hand side that leads up to the second level, which walks around to another double set of doors, and then you enter sort of the second floor hallway, which heads west down the main corridor. You end up at the exact corridor where you were inside the bunk rooms the night before, and then you turn a sharp left down another long hall that about maybe 50 or 60 feet at the end of, there's a giant grand window and another set of double doors that opens up into a wide high-rising marble terrace that's almost like a wall. And so you kind of all end up down here where you are led across this battlement under several pairs of broad arches, and then turn left and end up down here in this training facility, which is sort of this open air terrace made of stone, where all of the guards are currently that are training are working with battle mannequins. As Captain Masai there, not in her full armored regalia, has a long sword in hand and is giving sort of positioning and sword training techniques to a set of half-elven and elven women, all of which are wearing sort of like novice armor. There's maybe a half dozen folks here getting training.
Nadine is going to kind of kick at the dirt and really look down and not want to talk to anyone. Is going to let the others just kind of inevitably get her attention, but she doesn't like this.
will.
Hey, did you
How
do
long?
your
Yeah, I did.
Oh, your health isn't right.
Oh, I didn't do it in...
I,
How do I
with
do
Hallock,
that?
is going to sort of sit back, sort of watch people train, sort of reminisce of those days. How
Mr. DM man.
What did happen?
How does SJ do her long rest? I don't think
That
she
it-
has the better 20 thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, she just reset her stuff manually if she'd like.
Got it, thanks.
Well, Moss is gonna hop down out of arms and just saunter over to where Captain Masai is. And just start like rubbing up against her leg, trying to gain her attention.
really weird out of context.
Yes,
Yeah.
her kind of silver-plated boot looks. You can kind of see your mirrored image inside of it as you rub your whiskers against her heel. As she stops and looks down, sword in hand, and says, "I see that you brought your pets. Welcome back, young girl and friends.
Hello.
I assume this is your other companion in rare form."
No,
She just nods.
that's a cat, and I like wink very forcefully.
Yes, it is.
Nadine dies a little bit inside.
At ease, you may all return to get cleaned up. Return to the bunks. We will have a meal here in the next hour when the bell tolls. Until then, you are dismissed and you may return to your chambers. All of them kind of give a bow and march off towards the battlements. Masai stands there in this terrace, leaving you alone with her. And after the troops have kind of re-entered the main home, she says, "Talk to me. What is it that you wish? It must be important if you've decided to come here. Did you find what you were looking for?"
We found a big scary monster.
Can we just kind of... Do we just want to recount generally everything to her, minus Anderson's identity? Is that the consensus group?
Yeah, sure.
Yep.
I think we just tell her... In that case, we tell her everything, and we just don't say where Anderson went off to. That's the only thing we allude.
That is a noble sign, if I ever had to say one. You realize that Selune herself is the goddess of hope as well as the goddess of light and illumination. You did the right thing by offering him a second chance. oftentimes when we find ourselves isolated in darkness, we can see no other path, and we feel that we are bound by it. I believe that Priestess Justera was correct in choosing you, in allowing you to come here. There is good hope for you, girl. I should say this, if there is a monster beneath the city streets, then it must be dealt with at once. You say that this Anderson person, whomever he really was, had some information about how it too was perhaps touched by the moon. It could change forms.
Yes, I believe it's the same as myself, or, you know, us in a manner, but it's different. She's gonna hand her the scroll, actually, and show her the contract. This is the other relevant information. And she's just gonna hand her the scroll and get quiet and let her look at it.
Her form emanates kind of this palpable, sad empathy as her Eladrin emotions basically kind of swell a bit, and you're able to kind of feel her react to the news that she's reading. She quickly corrects, her impulsiveness, and then turns to you and says, "This is grave news. I should tell you, girl, perhaps you do not know of the elves of this realm, this island. It wasn't always called Bastion. This is the human word. This whole island was called by the elves and the old gnomes of perhaps 2 millennia ago. It was called Chantara. And it, too, was a place of magic and mystery, the far distant realms. And it, too, was touched by light and darkness. It is said, girl, that when Selune and Shar fought their battle against each other, it was their animosity that first formed the lycanthropes, these moon-touched peoples. Some fear those that could shift into wolves or bears, thinking that they are inherently evil. But like all things that walk a path between the light and the dark, it's what we choose to do in those places that defines us. And I personally will fight for that until my dying day, which is why I choose to follow the Priestess Justera. This is a contract for a group that has long dwelled in the shadow, a mirrored place. It is all around us, yet it is not here. It is the other place, the dark place, this dark reflection of this world. At one point, in the bygone age, a group of elves that venerated Selune decided to abide by the darkness. And when a great portal was opened, and this rift tore this continent apart, many of them traveled within it to dwell in the darkness, to become one with it. These are the Shadow Fae, the Shadow Elves. They abide by their rules and their courts, their deals and their contracts. If they have returned, then it means that the breach perhaps has reopened. This does not bode well in this time of war. There aren't enough locals here on the island left to defend this realm. Did you glean anything else about this ambassador? Do you know who it is?
Nadine is gonna, again, recount. Nadine is gonna tell the hunt from her perspective. In terms of, and what happened before seeing the figure on the horse, seeing the weird unicorn-looking thing, hearing, like, initially before she met anyone, before Moss, before any of what we've played has fully started, she's going to talk about, and I don't think Nadine's ever talked this much in her life. She's going to talk about losing control and attacking the cart, and then she's going to talk about wandering through the woods, and her words just get faster and faster as she begins to speak. She talks about seeing the creature on the horse and then hearing the hunting horns and bolting it through the woods and hitting Moss, and recounts then seeing the creature again and how it just sucked the life out of people. And I think as she starts to just breathe heavier and heavier as she's speaking, because this is not her forte, she doesn't like when the only thing she knows how to do is survive, and she doesn't like when that's threatened, and that causes a lot of anxiety worked up for her. So by the time she gets to the last sentence of just recounting everything, she's just like, and I'm really sorry, Moss, because this must be like a really bad birthday party. But that's everything. Sorry, I don't know why I'm talking so much. But that's what I think the thing might be is whatever creature, or whatever that woman was attacked us in the forest. That's probably what it is. Yep. And then she just kind of looks at everyone and just kind of shuts up and like crosses her arms and kind of kicks the ground a bit.
Moss is going to drop the wild shape and just hug it.
Nadine slowly shaking and just like leans into it a little bit.
So, your brother is missing.
Mm-hmm.
There's a dark creature beneath the city. You are running from the dark fae. These shadow elves. What do you wish to do about all this?
The time is ticking. The creature needs to be dead. Jim, as we speak, is moving farther from where we are now. Find and rescue him.
We can't go after him until we clean up here, so don't think we really have a choice except to go kill a monster.
I will leave the choice to be yours. It would appear that your path splits here. I can assure you that I am more than capable of taking some of these fine soldiers of the moon goddess and carving out whatever evil is below this place. If you should wish to hit the road and seek after your brother, if you wish to descend down into the depths, that too is also acceptable. It is a risk, though, that you have to choose to take on your own.
Kelpie, it's your brother. What do you think we should do?
Yeah, I want to go after him, but people are gonna have to maybe die because we run away from a monster. I mean,
Do you want to save him, Kelpie?
I think I gotta go after him.
Can we go after him?
I mean, at this point, that's not really your problem.
Of course it is. Don't say something like that, Kelpie.
We've come this far, right?
I suppose so.
Helpy,
Hmm.
you've already lost one of your families. We don't want you to lose another one. You told Jim that you would go to Salt Shore. Let's make that happen.
Okay then.
Cap, you're sure you can take care of what's under the city?
There are no better soldiers than the ones that are under my command. I have faith in them. And the Saloon will protect us in that dark place.
Do you
however, you chase unknown evil. Do you need assistance?
I mean,
Some
we can't ask that.
information? Perhaps. What can you tell us about the Obsidian Tower that is to the south?
A malignant apparition, something manifesting. It, in the old stories, was not actually accessible when it last appeared. It ripped out of the ground, or was a corrupted, perhaps manifestation on an existing tower that once stood in the old dale. The woods have grown dark. All creatures and the semblance of life seem to have left it. No one goes there now. That whole expanse of wilderness is consumed. Down to the south, north of the old shrine to the Arakokra people, within the center of the Anguished Vale, this giant black monolith had appeared. This was during the time of the last great conjunction, where the rift appeared. But presumably, the only way to close it is from the other side. I know that sounds crazy. I have to perhaps seek more information about it. The scholars at the Capitol, they do keep records. Perhaps you could visit there and learn more. The old libraries of Moonreach, or up at the Sarenmont Temple at the top of the Diviner's Mountain. You could talk to them. Knowledge here is unreliable. But there, in those places, I'm sure they would know.
Before we go, may I talk to the priestess? I did agree to that. I feel like with all
Yes.
the help you've given us, I at least owe you that.
You intend to travel south then, towards the Vale?
It looks like it.
I believe so.
Where are they, Jim?
Heard it's anguished this time of year.
As you walk across, she sort of takes you across the battlements and back into the building proper, where she takes you to the main tower. And at that point, you begin walking in a spiral rise until you go up about 4 floors into what is the top of the tower. From here, there is perhaps a 20 or 30 foot wide expanse. There's this gallery that kind of like is just illuminated by this giant prismatic display of lights fluttering in through this giant crystal formation, this globe on the ceiling. But there is a large, sort of ornate chair in a sitting area where Priestess Jasira sits in front of a small reflecting pool. And you see the guards kind of around her in full plate. Step aside as Masai comes in, them giving just a bit of a nod as a salute as you just sort of winded make your way to the top of the Tower of the Moon. Getting a perhaps 5 or 10 foot space in front of her, you see Masai basically like kind of bow down onto one knee and give her a nod and then stand up straight and says, Priestess, your audience with these individuals, it would appear that they finally come around and do wish to speak to you. Priestess Jasira looks at you all and with just a knowing glance says, I'm glad you came. Now, please, speak.
Gonna slightly just nudge Nick.
She is stuttering and stumbling over words. Your captain has aided us greatly, and I was told that you wanted to speak to me. My name is Nadine Honormore. I don't think I have to say what I am for you to understand, but...
Yes. The girl touched by the moon. The girl from Storm Hollow.
She winces
Girl.
at that.
Who was hunted down by the clan of Bad Blood. I heard you were saved by a knight of the Silver Keep who was able to administer a bit of a remedy.
Mm-hmm.
It's a wonder. Their venom, that particular sect of dark lichens, they are quite potent. It's quite amazing that you weren't completely turned in that short amount of time. Yet you've wandered. I've been watching you for a while now. For at least the last year. She kind of like has her hand, it just trickles through the water in her reflecting pool. Where Salune's gaze is, one can divine all. She's been watching you. And through me, her conduit, I believe that she has a special purpose for you. I'm glad that you have decided to come, and I'm glad to see that her infinite wisdom was correct into your outstanding heart and character. I tell you something, you will be facing some challenges ahead. Will have certain people misunderstand what you are, particularly those of the Silver Keep, whose intentions are pure, but who are woefully misguided about what it means to be touched by this goddess. You are on a path now to seek out your friend, your brother. We will help in this journey, but the choices that you make, they are entirely up to you. Go and fetch them carriage, 2 horses. We'll guide them along the road. You won't be able to head overland through the wilds as easily, but it should get you south fast enough. If I were you, I'd head towards Algenwald. It's been a long time since I've been to the church, but if it is still in operation, you should find respite there, and they'll be able to guide you into the wood.
Well, that's appreciated.
And you said the town we're heading towards is what?
So in order to get there, there is an old monastery basically up on a hillside, sort of looked out over the Anguished Vale, prior to the corruption happening. But it is a monastery called Agamwald.
Okay. Do I know anything about that? Would I've heard anything?
Presumably, make me a history, or you can make me a history check.
All right. Ooh, I like those. 26.
Oh, okay. Yes, you are fully aware of the history of Agamwald, at least as far as written memory is concerned. This is a temple that was constructed prior to the First Great War breaking out. It was contested by the local elves in its construction, but it is presumably the largest sort of memorial and burial place of soldiers from Bastion that returned. So there's this massive expanse of attached cemetery that just goes on for miles in every direction, sort of like an Arlington kind of situation. And it was basically abandoned except for a small kind of clan of carekeepers after the wood had become corrupted again the last time that the conjunction occurred. Basically, it honored and venerated Eo, the overgod, and then it had small temples built into it to venerate a triad, so Tyr, Torm, and Ilmater, and then it also had a small temple for Selune.
You said it was like a cemetery, right, from like wars?
Yes.
Would this be like the war with like the hobgoblins?
Yeah, it would have been the first
Got it.
war. Yep.
Got it. And is it still like an active cemetery?
I mean, nobody has been buried there, I think, since the war.
Okay.
Well, I guess technically nobody's been buried there since the conjunction, and we can kind of hash out like timelines in that. But essentially, this great conjunction, which you keep hearing about, is something that has happened many times. It's basically a celestial event to where like the tapestry between the two worlds grows thin, and sometimes evil attempts to break through. It happened prior to the kingdom being before the empiricism happened, where like humans landed. So it happened during the days of the elves. It happened after the Great War, and it hasn't happened since. So it's probably been maybe 200 years.
I think from what I'm kind of gathering, I think our plan is to head out shortly, right?
Yes.
I think Nadine's gonna kind of look to the priestess, and initially she's just gonna be like, "Thank you for the information, for your assistance. We'll make sure to at least put on a damn good show."
That's kind of what I do.
Yeah,
It's literally what he does.
It is.
you know, because the watching. She gestures towards the pool where you're watching her. Are you able to see anything that your moon goddess can see?
Perhaps. The power is strongest when the moon is full at night, but presumably I could give something a shot. What are you looking for?
I was just wondering if you could possibly see how my parents are doing.
Potentially. I don't know them personally.
I don't know how much you know, or how much you've seen, or how long you've been watching me. If it had been since the incident, then maybe you caught a glimpse of them as I left Storm Hollow.
It is, vaguely. All right, so with this ritual secondhand, does Nadine, she'll basically say, like, do you have anything of theirs? Something that they owned? Something personal?
Do I work? I came from them.
This might be okay,
Fair.
stupid, dumb idea. I don't know if this counts or not, but I don't really want to, like, pull out of my ass, be like, Nadine kept this really emotional thing from her parents, but she probably doesn't. She has herself, she has, like, this, she has her clothes that, like, I'm sure her parents made for her. Oh my god, yeah, Nadine takes her old bow.
Okay.
The first bow that she had, because she grabbed the second one when we robbed the people. She hands her the first bow, and that's the bow that her parents gave her, that her mother gave her.
I'm gonna do me a favor. Roll. Enter. Okay, I'll enter the command. Actually, it'll be easier. Let's see. Roll.
What?
Okay. It is canon now. Your mom's wisdom is 9.
My mom's wisdom?
Oh, man.
Your mom's wisdom is 9.
I thought she was better than that.
Yeah, it's the
Apparently not.
Idiot mother.
as
She wasn't a very
begins-
good ranger.
Call upon, she places the bow over the basin of holy water, this font with almost like a mirror-like reflection, and begins to utter some rituals as a little piece of incense kind of burns nearby as this focus begins to glow as she chants. Your mom is going to make a save because she does not know the target well. Then she's going to roll a d20 plus 5, but since she has a possession, it is going to be a d20 plus 1. Can you roll for your mom to see what her resist is against scrying?
Okay, so I roll a d20 and then I add 1 to it.
Roll for your
Actually, you know what? No, with that plus 1, and then she'll have a -1 from her whiz, so it'll be just a flat d20. Wow, and we're back at 0. We never should have done any calculations for your mom. We
That
should
was
have
an
just
8.
rolled
My mom rolls
Alright.
an 8.
An 8. All right. So, Priestess, being who she is going to have a base modifier of +6, and we'll roll on
Good
here.
golly.
Hi,
Wisdom, holy shit.
16. All right. And at that point, manifesting in this pool of water early in the morning, great stormy sky can be seen high above rolling wooded mountains as this infinite torrent of storm clouds and swirling vortexes comes into sight. You can see that it is sort of juxtaposed with this woman wearing almost like a kerchief to tie back her hair and to keep the sweat off of her brow as she sits outside of a pretty sturdy but provincial cabin, splitting wood as beads of sweat drip down and cause the dirt to kind of like run into the crevices of her wrinkled forehead and cheeks. She stops for a minute and kind of wipes her arm against her brow as she then kind of glances out into the woods, and then she turns back and you see that she's walking up into the cabin itself. She takes a big swig out of a water skin and then hangs it back on a loop and then walks inside. She heads deep into the home for a moment and then turns her attention towards a small nook where a short staircase goes to a loft. And she puts her hand on a thick wooden splintering beam and kind of peers up at the bunk where you used to sleep every night. She then kind of takes a deep breath and then turns and heads into the kitchen where she pulls aside a stool and sits down in front of a heavy wooden desk and kind of places her head down and just rests for a brief moment as you hear boots kind of scraping nearby. She turns and a scruffy kind of barrel chest man kind of enters with several rabbits tied together as you see your aging father kind of walking in, and he just utters to her, "It's time to skin these here, dear. I just feel like sometimes she's still here. She'll turn up again. She'll come back someday. But remember, if she comes back, we have to tell them. She could be dangerous." "She's not dangerous. She is our daughter." "No, that's not what the knights said. They said that she needs to be taken to the Silver Keep." "She is not dangerous. She's just lost." At that point, you see he kind of walks up and puts his hand on her shoulder as the spell breaks and the water ripples, and it sort of reverts back into a pool of holy kind of residual energy.
Nadine Nadine has silent tears down her face. Just silent. And she's just standing there, just staring at it. "Thank you, priestess. Thanks."
Oh, wait. Why don't we just use this to see where Jem is?
That's a great idea.
Yeah,
Except it's a
not
great
to take
idea,
away
but
from your
we already know where he's going. I mean,
Well,
all we're gonna find is him in a
Yes,
cart,
kinda.
really.
Whatever.
It's a good idea, Kelby.
Not
Just
trying to take. Okay, fine. Okay.
It's not
That
a bad
just-
idea. It's not
That
a
just
bad
made
idea.
Like a fucking truck, just like. Guess we
I-
kind
it's not a
of.
bad
I mean,
idea. But if we were to
Yeah.
do that,
we would at
we
least know
find,
like which way they're going. I mean, I don't
we
know.
already
don't
know
have
where they're
to.
going.
Well, in a general sense, how many roads are there southbound?
A few. But then again, if we just look at a road, we're not going to know which one it is.
Okay, fair enough.
You know, that's actually a great idea. What if we put up signs on the roads to let us know where we are? Genius.
That sounds like a lot of work.
Nadine is
some sort of-
sobbing! Nadine is
or,
sobbing!
like, some sort of government agency to handle instead of us. You know, weird, but for individuals.
I believe we should hit the road soon.
Wait,
Right.
Bonding time. It's going to be great.
that was so
As
funny.
One last thing.
Mhm.
Are we like leaving this area now?
We should,
Yeah,
like,
I think
stop
so.
first.
Okay. Alex sort of stays behind with Justira. Just go on ahead. Sort of waits.
What
Sort of
are you
reaches
doing?
into his pouch, fishes with something, sort of pulls something out in his hand, sort of looks at her. "Do me one favor."
What is this?
Sort of goes to hold out, and you see that he's holding a ring.
I appreciate it, but I've
I
taken
don't
a vow
know.
of chastity.
No.
Oh.
He slowly takes the ring back, sort
Did
of
he
puts it
just try
back.
to marry her?
"Thank you for what you did for me." Sort of turns around and leaves, sort of fidgeting with the ring in his pouch.
Part of the church now, since I have this honeymoon thing. I ask her that.
You basically while servitude would make you a member of a church and like a congregation. Service is membership, basically. While she, recommends, and you are welcomed to be a worshiper, one who venerates and prays to the moon, and she would, teach you a few ways to do that, and a few expressions and blessings and stuff that you can say.
Oh, cool.
You could add a what your religion is to your character sheet if you would like to do that. But in order to become like a cleric or to become like a member of a church, you would have to become an acolyte. And it's kind of difficult as a traveling adventurer right now to really dedicate to yourself to it. But she'd be willing to kind of welcome you into the opening folds.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. With these prayers and my funny moon rocks, I know that. Like, do you talk to the moon?
Would that make you a space rocker?
I've never, oh my goodness, I've never really been a religious type, but going through a lot of stuff right now. My dad died and my brother got kidnapped, and I accidentally eviscerated a pretty innocent man. Like he was just kind of being blackmailed. Like I didn't really mean to do it, but he could just like I disintegrated him with knives. It's been a long day.
There is forgiveness.
Well, that's good.
You're slowly taken down like 4 levels of just awkwardness, and eventually end up at the base of the temple plaza. And from there, you see Masai kind of has been met by one of the local guards, and you see that she has folded up in kind of a leather sort of strapped container, almost like a bag, but it's more to hold like bundles of arrows. She produces 2 small cords, each cord having 10 arrows, and each of them are fitted differently. And she says to you, these are from the Silver Keep. They have outfitted us in case of emergencies to deal with certain problems. And she points to one. The bunch of 10 arrows has almost like unrefined black iron tips. And she says, these are for use against creatures of the Fae. Should they breach the boundaries of our world, they would affect them in ways that they would not affect normal creatures here. And these are tipped with silver. I would not touch these if I were you, Nadine. Quite a burning sensation. But should you run into any more of those fell moon-touched creatures along the road, those shifter-like creatures, these may come in handy. That's all that we can offer you for right now. Our blades are short, but perhaps you can take these among your cadre, and they might come in handy. The carriage will be waiting at the gate outside of the Whitestone. There will be a week's worth of food for the horses, but beyond that you may need to stop and resupply in Bleakwood on the way back.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Oh,
She gives you a nod. You can add 10 silvered and 10 cold iron arrows to whatever inventory you would like to add.
Nice.
probably give him to the ranger.
Yeah.
Only
The
one of
Kelpie and he'll
us
start
are
stabbing
above.
people with them.
Really like stabbing people.
All right. And you guys kind of depart from the Temple of the Moon and head back into the Whitestone. The horses will be ready whenever you're ready to depart. What are you going to do?
We'll flavor that when Talok catches back up with the team, they would see him sort of fidgeting with something in his pouch before sort of locking it back up and going back to his normal cheery self.
Guys, I'm in a church now.
Oh,
I can talk
that's
to the I can talk to the moon.
that's wonderful. I'm very happy for you.
Can't we all talk to
What?
Yeah, but I
It's
mean the
just
moon might like
there in the
talk,
sky?
Well,
they might
suppose.
like talk back to
Well, it's all in your head. Everything can talk back if you believe, just like that flower. And Moss
Man,
is
I
just
don't know.
gonna start walking
Did-
towards where the
did-
gate is.
Did you eat some of those mushrooms? Save some of those. We have
Okay,
anything we need? Like, I feel like we're like gear-wise probably good.
I'm fine.
I really want. Is there like a weapon shop like close? Like, how far would that?
So most of the weapons in town are sort of governed and controlled by the militias or held by private owners. There would be a blacksmith in town that you could go to, but it would be a blacksmith that, you know, has a number of business interests, smithing horseshoes, things of that nature, door hinges, whatever is needed. What are you looking for?
I want a trident.
You want a trident.
Yeah, because I feel like Kelpie would be pretty like well versed in using those.
Mm-hmm. Do you have access to martial weapons? I think trident's a martial weapon, isn't it?
It is.
I don't know.
You could use it, but you would not add your proficiency bonus to it when you attack with it.
How do I become proficient?
You have to get the feat called skilled.
Xanathar's
weapon
Guide
master.
has like some other downtime stuff, depending on whether or not we'll see if this campaign really is going to like play into having downtime or not. I've played games where like there's, you know, sometimes we'll be like, all right, let's skip ahead 2 weeks, right? Where we can sort of play out downtime. Other games that I've played in, it's literally like we play out every hour of the day for weeks on end, right? So I don't know.
Okay. Well, I mean, I hold off on it for now because
I was wrong. The feat is weapon master.
Weapon.
Well, here's a question. Does Trident give you any racial proficiencies as far as like weapons or tools? Trident, not Trident.
I don't think so.
Weapons, crossbow, longsword, rapier, short sword, simple weapons.
It's all burn stuff.
I don't think it do.
No, it do not.
Something
I would
bad
say, yeah, I would
earlier.
say it probably would be simple enough for you to get a hold of like a spear of some kind, but it wouldn't be a true trident.
It's okay. I'll wait until we level up and learn how to use that for
Cool.
lore accuracy. Yeah, I don't think I need anything then. Probably should just get going.
Sounds good. Don't worry, Kelpie. We'll get you the trident.
Yeah, it's okay.
I am
I don't
ready
think I'll
when
be
you.
stabbing any fish anytime soon.
So,
Hopefully I'm not doing
Kelpie,
too much stabbing in general, but
you said you could talk to fish, right?
yeah, I can.
And you're going to get a trident.
To stab fish.
Well, I mean,
I like the aesthetic you're going for.
sometimes you have to eat fish.
Of
They
course.
get it. They understand. They're pretty simple creatures too, so like they don't really have a horrible, like they don't have a concept of death in the sense that they don't fear it as much as we do. So it's just kind of like something that happens.
Interesting. I'll have to
And
look into
yet-
that.
You're concerned about me standing around stones.
Well, no, I was just asking if that was like the equivalent, but you know we don't have to talk about that.
Okay.
Let's go find Jem.
Let's go find
Okay.
Let's get on the road.
Yep.
All right, you guys depart from Allengil. It is still early in the morning, and let me do some basic measurements here because the road south is going to, let's see. On the road, you're going to be traveling at about, let's say, 3 miles an hour. So with the cart, just because it is kind of weighed down with your guys' bodies. So 18. Let's see. You probably are going to. Does anybody have vehicle proficiency, like land vehicles? Just FYI.
Boy, I sure don't, but I can
Nope.
use a drum.
Yeah, nope. I'm a wizard.
SJ.
No.
I can use
however-
the carriage driver.
Oh,
Once we
I
get
mean,
into
I can-
forest, that's my favored terrain, so that's something
wanna-
else.
I want to drive.
How good are you with animals, Kelp?
I'm great with animals. I talk to them and stuff.
We can do it together.
Okay, that's fine. I'll accept that. 2 horses, so. Yeah. Where'd they go piloting this shit?
You tell them where to go. I'll drive.
Okay.
All
I mean,
right.
I don't think anybody can do that. That's kind of just how horses work. I could just sometimes have the ability to hear what they say in response to what I say to them. Most horses go in the way they're supposed to go.
Do you not believe that they can understand you if you can understand them?
No.
No, I know they can understand me. I'm just saying I need to use magic so I
my.
can understand them. They just have learned to understand us for some strange. I don't
Go
know.
straight.
As they're bickering in the front, I'm just sort of sitting in the back, sort of flipping through a book, and sort of look up at Nadine, who I'm assuming is.
Nadine is staring at the ground. Nadine is not. Nadine's fiddling with the arrows. Nadine actually, against her better judgment, like definitely touches the silver arrow top. Like she definitely is like, I just want to see how much it hurts. Like she definitely does that. DM, I'm assuming it just like burns.
It does. It's uncomfortable. It doesn't outright sear you because you again like are kind of only partially afflicted by
Yeah.
this disease.
But it hurts.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable.
Voted.
As you guys tear out of Allengil and head south along the road, you're going to be able to travel for about 8 hours, which will put you at about 6 p.m. And so it would be you would have maybe 2 hours worth of sunset. You're going to be traveling along the Valley Road, and the Valley Road essentially just sort of like winds in between a creek. That is sort of a tributary to Lake Castor. So you're going to be kind of going uphill. And as you are traveling in between what is the Arendon, which thins out the more south you get, you're eventually going to probably stop at the 24-mile mark near where the road and the wood come together near the Highland Basin, which is where all of the mountain runoff kind of pours into another smaller lake. It's a big lake. It's at least 6-7 miles wide, but it is at the top of this hill to the south. From there, you guys could either continue to push forward and kind of head into the woods further. It would be another maybe day's journey to get to Bleakwood. Who is driving?
It would be Moss and
Moss.
Kelpie.
Yeah,
so-
we're kind of both.
During
I have a question
the first day.
for that. If forest is my favorite terrain, so if we go through the forest, would Nadine driving have these same benefits as traveling through her favorite terrain? It means that we can't get lost except for magical means. We are alert to danger, all that good stuff.
I would say the alert to dangers for sure. The getting lost thing's not as dangerous because it's just a road you're following. So unless you suddenly found yourself turned around, you're not going to get too lost, or if you depart from the road itself. Can you guys? All right, so
Question.
yeah, go ahead.
I was trying to do something before during the first day of travel.
Oh yeah. I'm just sort of getting all this mapped out of my head before we break it down. But yeah, what would you like to do on the first day?
As Talok was sort of sitting there, he looked up at Nadine. He sort of closed his book and just sort of. That was really brave what you did back there. With
What?
The captain. The captain with the captain. You said a lot. You
Oh.
weren't comfortable. It was brave.
Yeah, it's whatever. It's no big deal.
Oh, it's
Yeah, it's chill. I mean, yeah, I guess, but you do what you have to do.
Of course. But you did say a lot of things that you would like to keep secret, and
I think we've kind of learned that secrets aren't exactly the best thing right now, so.
I agree. I grew up in the South, and my mother, her name is Bresh Ursoon, one of the barbarian lords there.
Damn, scary.
Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. Got the shit beat out of me every day. It's wonderful.
That doesn't sound very well. And maybe it's a culture thing. I won't.
Yeah, no, it's 100% culture thing.
Okay. Yep.
So you should know you asked me before, and
Right.
I
You
kept
didn't
that a
want to talk
secret.
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No more secrets for a while, at least. Taluk, I don't know when the next full moon is, but I don't typically do too well outside of those. I just feel like maybe that's one thing that definitely shouldn't be secret. They have an effect on me. I doubt it'll be too much of an issue, but I don't know.
This sort of looks up towards Kelpie and Moss. Guess we'll all just watch each other's backs then.
Yeah, we will.
He takes a minute and just sort of looks down. No more secrets. So holds out a hand to shake yours.
She takes it and she shakes it. No more secrets.
Sense a tiny bit of regret in his face before it washes away. Goes back to his book.
I like to imagine while they're having this very serious conversation that it's. I just turned to Moss. I'm like, what's your favorite kind of fish? This is gonna make or break if we can be friends.
Well, aren't you kind of a fish?
I don't really know what I am.
Because
I kind of got
haven't-
washed up on the beach when I was a little child. I don't really know exactly where I come from or anything, but I guess I'm kind of like a fish. I breathe water and talk to fish, and sometimes I eat seaweed, but I mean,
Considering all the fish that I have met in my lifetime,
do I have
Thank you.
gills?
I think you are my favorite fish.
Well, I mean, I guess I'll accept that answer, but I was gonna say it. Trout. Trouts are cool, But you know, if you want a good conversation, an octopus.
Never seen any of these.
Okay, we
To
got.
be completely honest, I think
Yeah.
you're the only fish other than those little tiny things that were in the sewer that I've
They
seen.
were like minnows or something like that.
Minnows.
Yeah, I think that's
Interesting.
what they're called.
What do they do
Well, they're just
other
little
than wait
fish.
for the bucket?
Well, fish usually just kind of swim around in the water.
You're my favorite kind of fish.
You just hear Talwalk from the back. I like halibut. So I eat it for the halibut. I'm sorry, that was a bad joke.
It was a bad joke, but a good fish. All right, Nadine, what's your favorite fish now that you're both involved?
I need a second. I need a minute. I don't know why this bit broke me. I'm sorry.
Get it together, woman. Get it together.
Fuck, dude.
Very seriously, Talwalk will look at Nadine. It was a very honest question. What's your favorite fish?
It's a very important
I
question.
like salmon. They taste good.
Oh, they do taste good.
I'm
They're
hungry.
kind of weird though. You're always hungry.
Yeah. Now I want salmon.
I don't have any salmon. Wait. Do I have
Nadine.
salmon? Didn't I have
Yes, Moss.
fish?
I know there's rations for a week for the horses.
Wait, no, I
We
have.
check if there's anything for us.
I have fish.
Maybe a day's worth.
I have like half a fish. Want some of that?
I'm.
I think we forgot about something, guys.
Got my
fuck.
food.
Oh shit.
Oh, anyways, it's fine. There's like a river or something, isn't there?
We can stop and find things. I can hunt. As long as we do it during the day. DM, is tonight another full moon? I forgot what you said.
He's just so like.
Yeah. I'm like, just let him go. Just let him go.
Sometimes it has to happen.
Sometimes you just gotta talk about fish.
All right. Let's just, I guess, get the travel kind of
Yeah.
stuff taken care of real quick. Can the person driving for the first 4 hours make me a handle animal roll?
Oh god, how do we? Because I think,
I-
like, are we literally both just holding one rein? Or do we just want to
I
make it
can do
easy
the
on?
first 4.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let's just make it easy on him and do that.
I got a 18.
Cool. And then for the person the second 4 hours.
That is a 16. Kind of high five, Moss. Good thing that they weren't driving. I don't think they would have done as good.
I'm trying to find my table here real quick. I'm gonna need one of you guys to roll here in a second.
Gotcha, I'm ready.
I'll just spend this time explaining to Nadine and anyone else who will listen, like, Orcish culture and about my life in the tribe.
Nadine is very concerned.
I'm very interested.
Moss, don't. Most people don't beat their kids. Just a little.
It wasn't.
They're
It
like-
wasn't beating. It was training. I mean, look at me now. It was worth it.
They're different.
All right. Can the second driver
Yes.
roll me a D100?
Oh, good lord, I'm terrified.
Wasn't me.
Can I? Do I? Oh, there we go.
Tell me your
Fif-
result.
What is that? 53. Oh, that's good. I feel like above 50 is usually the good thing. I don't know what my culture would be.
And that's how my brother Boris broke my nose.
I don't like that look on Chris's face.
All right.
Oh no,
What happened?
Alan, what'd you do?
As I think I'm doing a good job
Alan,
at
what
driving.
did you do?
I'm doing a good job at driving.
Oh, I don't like that look.
What do you mean?
At about the 5-hour mark, you guys are going to be chatting amongst yourselves, talking about fish and other things. And as you crest over a small ridge line and are, I'm going to say, about 15 miles away from Allengro proper, a bit of the wood comes like encroaching out onto the road. And nearby, there is what looks to be a big, fleshy, festering mass near the roadside, some sort of dead animal. And
It's not a
as
fish.
you approach, you can just hear the flies buzzing about it, and it looks almost serpentine the way that it's sort of like piled up on the edge of the road. A portion of its ribcage exposed. The animals, perhaps from the woods, had gotten a hold of it. And nearby, a large clop of shrubberies and small young trees appears to be like perfectly burned away, as if they were like just desiccated by some sort of like acid or toxic, I don't know, fume or bile. But the creature, maybe 8 or 9 feet long, lays there just dead on the side of the road as you approach. You're maybe 50 feet away.
Nadine is hungry.
Does
He wants to know if
no.
he can cook it.
That you can smell it from here. Please
It's
don't.
just-
I'm
it's
not
absolutely
stopping. I'm not
rancid.
stopping. I'm not stopping for that.
No, we keep going.
You know what happens when we get in a fight?
Why?
I get knocked
go
out.
unconscious?
I get knocked out.
I'm going to be honest, Kelpie. Maybe you should stay behind us from now on.
I mean, I can't. It's just every time we get in a fight, they just pop up in front of me like some sort of magic.
What is
How was I
that?
supposed to know the? I don't know, man. Gross. Thanks.
Just
You
stay
guys
behind me.
approach. You can make a nature check. It
I'll
is
do that.
properly decayed. You do see that there are great vultures kind of floating ahead high in the sky.
Nature check.
And as the wagon approaches, you spook one of the vultures that has kind of landed nearby the cadaver, and it kind of flies up into the sky away.
I got an 8.
Sorry, bird.
Got a 22.
Got a 12.
22.
I didn't get. I got like a 6.
All right, you are able to deduce like actual type as well. What you see here at the edge of the wood is the remains of what looks to be a very young green dragon.
Oh shit.
Whoa. What is it?
It's
I don't
bigger than a wormling.
A baby!
I don't mean to
Aww.
alarm anyone, but that's a dragon.
Is it cute?
I mean,
It's-
it was a.
It's dead.
It was a dragon.
Was it cute?
Green dragons are not the cutest.
It kind of reminds me of that guy in the basement with the knives. Kind of what it looks like. I was like, this. Is
I want to make this very clear. This thing got killed by something.
As
It's
you
always a bigger fish.
The cart is getting a little bit closer now, and you can see that the soil around it is basically starting to decay, and the stench coming downwind from it is just absolutely unbearable. The closer you get, you're able to see kind of large maggots and other carrion eaters kind of within the flesh itself, large
Ew.
fly visible on it. You can see that there is a series of terrible wounds that are kind of down the torso of this dead beast that indicates that it was potentially slain by something maybe larger than itself.
All in favor of going as fast away from this as possible.
Yeah, we just ignore that. That's
Okay.
that's not my problem.
Can agree with that. Whatever
Yeah, my
took
God.
that down.
I got bigger fish to fry.
Nadine.
Something we want to
Yeah.
be close to.
I think we're gonna keep going, but Nadine is alert. Nadine is looking out the windows. She's looking at that
Nadine?
forest.
May I try to... I'm not going to investigate because I feel like that would be too in-depth and we're just trying to go past it. Is there a way I can try to decipher what killed it?
You could make me a healing check at disadvantage.
Medicine?
Medicine, yeah.
Disadvantage?
Not.
Got it.
Yeah.
Does anyone have anything before I roll this that could help me?
What
Nope.
would help you?
Got it. Certain things. Anyway, here we go.
What?
Nope,
That is-
that's a 7.
It's too far decayed at this point.
Yeah.
Let me get one more navigation roll for the driver of the next 4 hours.
Gotta take over the next 4
Yeah.
shift. Say 23.
23. All right.
We
You will
are
actually
kick-ass drivers.
gain a little bit of momentum. All right. You actually make yourself all the way to about 30 miles away from Allengil at the end of the first 8 hours.
Could you put a marker on the map? Sorry. Just
I can. We're actually going to have to switch to the
Oh.
overland map, which
Ooh.
is not quite. I'm almost done with the other overland map, which will be an updated version of this. You guys are about here. And I would ask, it might make sense for you to zoom in there on the stream.
Oh yeah, we'll make sure you do that for the recording.
Already done.
Right here,
So,
everyone.
basically, at this point, the road splits apart from the creek. The creek heads towards the Highland Basin, and the road goes into the woods, where it then is kind of in the last long shot before you head to Bleakwood.
We're headed down here, chat, just for the record.
So, at this point, you can kind of decide whether you're going to press on and move for additional hours of travel, or let the horses rest and set up camp, whatever you guys want to do. You got about 2 hours before sunset.
Man, I don't know. There's a dead dragon over there. I think we should keep moving.
Well, just for context, that dead dragon's about 12, 13 miles behind you now.
Okay.
That's okay.
Maybe we should definitely. Sorry, I don't remember if I might have. You might have all told me and I've forgotten. Is tonight a full moon? A full moon? I thought you said
Full
there was
moon.
a series of days, or I'm just making shit up.
No, it is starting to wane. It will be a full moon in 28 days.
Okay, cool. So the full moon is over. Okay, sick. Cool.
I
I
believe
suppose
we should stop soon if we are gonna have to
Okay.
hunt for food.
Yeah, I guess we
Oh,
set up
that's
a
too
camp.
big.
Oh,
Oh! What
Whoa.
the fuck is
that's
that?
what killed the green dragon.
Hell yeah, the tack of doom.
Just for context, that's about where the green dragon was.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay.
My little map pen.
Well, I agree with Moss. Setting up camp's a good idea, but Nadine, keep an ear out for
Yep.
anything large.
I'm
Alright, well, I'm
also
gonna-
gonna be looking as we kind of wrap up for any good spots that are off the road a little bit to
Yeah.
set up camping.
Nadine
Yeah.
encourages us to go a little bit into the forest. Because I like forests.
You guys sort of enter the wood proper. You can make me a survival check with advantage to find a good camp.
Who's
Oh, I'm
going
good
there?
at those. I will.
Okay.
You basically have to stay near the road, though, with these horses in the carriage.
19.
It's possible that you could try and, like, hide them away a little
I
bit.
think Moss was making it.
21 for that survival check.
And we'll say it's with advantage. So yeah, with that, you guys are able to find a small kind of basin to sort of obscure the wagon away from the road just a little bit. Tall trees and thickets nearby into this young forest that's kind of encroaching on the road itself. And as you walk in the surrounding area, you kind of deduce it seems pretty safe. Small creatures probably live nearby: raccoons, possums, squirrels. It looks like a good enough place to set up a camp for the night.
I will assist anyone, like whoever is setting up the camp, with muscle.
I was gonna go off and try to like do some fishing.
It's probably too far away. You might be able to like try and find a creek, but
I'm gonna go hunting. Nadine's gonna hunt. Try to find
Well,
food.
I'm gonna come with you then.
Well, Tyler, let's set up camp.
Right, my friend, let's do it.
let me make a notes here real quick.
I looked in my Natural Explorer thing, and it says you find twice as much food while foraging when I'm in my favorite territory and we're in a forest, so.
What's
Just
what's
Nadine
the
just
plan?
comes back with like 2 baskets full of blueberries. Like, look what I got, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, we were-
We can make smoothies.
Oh my god, we can. What's a
Talon
smoothie?
pulls out his protein shake.
Oh my god, he would. What a gym bro. Talik's a gym rat.
Hell yeah.
All right. As you guys finally return to the camp later in the evening with it set up, the horses are safe. You find yourselves cradled by the wood as sunset kind of disappears over the foothills of the Cloud Cleaver range. Yeah, enjoying a meal around a fire. I think that is about where we're going to leave it this week.
Okey-doke.
All right. Thank you guys all so much for watching.
Well, know, it's now a thing. You have to get a "You're my favorite kind of fish" T-shirt made or something dumb.
Yeah.
You're my favorite kind of fish. And what was the other one we were gonna do? I screenshotted it. We got merch ideas already. This is awesome.
Ant Manatan, I think.
Ant-Man,
was saying
yeah.
Ant-Man attack.
Praise the bucket. Praise the bucket's
Praise
good.
the bucket. We got references, baby. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. We put some links in during the intermission, but in the chat, you want to put the link tree there. That is the links to all of our social medias and also our Patreon and all the other good places you can contact us. You can watch our content and interact with us. Feel free to follow, share us with your friends, whatever you can do. Whatever you would like to do to help promote us would be incredibly awesome, and we are super duper thankful for you guys all for watching and being here with us during this super cool journey. Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude.
Appreciate it, y'all.
All right.
Okey-doke. I think that's
Any
all we
last
got.
words, guys?
Thank you, Chris, for always being our faithful deal.
Thanks, Chris.
Chris is fucking killing. He's truly a master.
Hell yeah. All right. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, everyone. Goodbye.
And I'll go back to the group.